Auburn Blitz is now on the air. Your daily look into what's happening in Auburn athletics. With your host, Andy Graham, Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee, War Eagle.
Hello, everybody, and good Monday to you. Brett Pritchard and David Jones here with you for the Monday edition of the Auburn Blitz, brought to you by Mortgage Pro, the Eric McKinley team, Big Fish Real Estate Group at Lake Martin, Russell Do It Center and Building Supply Stores, and J. Smith Construction. Glad to have all of you joining us wherever it is that you might be joining us via Facebook, via YouTube, via TV, wherever it is that you might be watching or listening to us. We appreciate it. A lot to discuss on this Monday as we come off of the final spring practice, which was A-Day on Saturday, a soggy, wet A-Day that we'll discuss a lot. We'll talk about some of the superlatives, what you got out of it, which wasn't a lot, but some of the guys that look pretty good in the running game, then a potential depth chart, David, we'll look at going into summer. I think that may be more interesting than anything. Some big news on the basketball front. Auburn picks up a huge, piece out of the transfer portal in Denver Jones. We'll talk more about that a little bit later on in the program. We kind of alluded to that last week, that he was the top priority for Auburn out of the portal for Bruce Pearl, and Auburn lands him. He signs yesterday, as a matter of fact. Got the commitment on Saturday, put his name on the paper on Sunday, so he'll be joining the Auburn basketball program very, very soon. Glad to have him part of the program. Coach Wes Flanagan, as we also talked about a couple of weeks ago, thought it might be a possibility he joins Chris Beard at Ole Miss, and he's going to. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. We'll talk about Auburn baseball, Auburn softball, just a ton to dive into. Of course, we'll continue, as we always do, to take your comments, make them a priority here on the program. You can comment there on Sports Blitz, that's sports with a Z, on Facebook, or you can give us a call, 256-234-6221 to be part of the program. Good to see you, David, on this Monday. It was a good weekend. Happy Easter weekend for everybody. It was beautiful weather yesterday. Not so much on Saturday for all the festivities at Auburn.
If you could have just backed it up one day. It was, great weekend for us. We got back Saturday afternoon from a great trip to the Gulf Coast. Congratulations to my grandson Carter and the Gulf Shores Middle School Dolphin baseball team for winning the Mobile and Baldwin combined middle school baseball championship. That's a pretty big deal.
That's a lot of great teams.
It was great. It was great. They beat Cottage Hill Christian 13-8, and we came back Saturday. I was watching A-Day on my wife's phone.
Right.
As we were coming in. What a mess. And I know I've got a lot to say about it. I know you do too. I have some observations and things, but great weekend, great service yesterday at church.
Right,
and Easter
absolutely.
And a beautiful Monday. So here we go.
Yeah, we're ready to rock and roll. Yeah, we're going to dive into this Auburn A-Day. Projected depth chart for Auburn moving into the summer. I think that may be more of an interesting talk than what actually happened. But rainy mess. Offensive line, though, looked good. Auburn only attempted 12 passes in the game. I didn't think we would see very much with it being the kind of weather that we expected, and it came through. 292 yards rushing. Those were sack-adjusted yards on the ground for Auburn running the football. You and I talked about it before the show, and I had some people that I talked with over the weekend. I know you can't tell a lot, but when you're in a game where you know you're going to run the ball, most of the time it kind of gives an edge to your defense, and we were able to get up there and do some things offensively with this new offensive line, this new rejuvenated, retooled offensive line. A lot of new guys up there that we saw for the first time in an Auburn uniform. Excited. Coach Freeze talked about it. Some quotes from him. He said, "I'm cautiously optimistic about the offensive line and the progress that they made and what we've done during the 15 practices." David, this is a This is a veteran offensive line, not for Auburn, but just in years of service and where they've been prior. He goes out and gets 3 big-time transfer portal guys that are going to start. And I'll go through the depth chart a little bit later on. But these guys are going to start, and they're going to continue to have reps together, in the offseason. And then when they get started with fall camp, this offensive line, I know, hold on, could be a strong suit. could actually be a strength of this team, which we haven't been able to say on this program in a long time.
Well, Brett, I've been on this show for 2 years now, I think a little over 2 years. And other than the quarterback position that we've been, the offensive line, we have harped on the lack of production, recruiting. And Coach Freeze even said in the post-game interview, we did want to throw it around some today.
Yeah, he did.
But we just weren't. We just couldn't.
We just can't do it.
And so, therefore, I thought one of his most glaring comments was this. After he said, well, I've got to watch the film. But he said, obviously, one of my points of concern right now is stopping the run on defense. Because we didn't stop the run very well
today. Gave up
today.
over 300 and something yards. If you put the sacks, if you don't take the sacks out, I mean, you're putting in. I mean, that's a lot of yards, man.
And here's another thing, Brett.
On the ground.
How many more yards would Robbie Ashford have had if they wouldn't have been playing touch football with the quarterback? I mean, he had some runs that they stopped when you touch him.
Right.
Yard after contact, he might have had 15, 20, 30 more yards rushing himself on some of those design runs or read runs.
It's always a mixed bag when one side of the ball has a much better day than the other, and again, I'm not saying the defense didn't have some good plays. They did. But when you look at it from a standpoint of they knew pretty much they were going to run the football, and they didn't do a very good job of stopping it, it could be one of two things. We are better on the offensive side with the offensive line we've got. And also, number two, we already knew that we were deficient a little bit on the defensive front. Mm-hmm. We got to get some more depth there. We got to get some more players. Again, Hugh Freeze talked about it. This roster was so depleted, for lack of better terms. It's amazing how you let a top-tier SEC team roster get to this level. Yeah. In 2 years, plus 3, I guess, if you add Gus Malzahn toward the end. It was so unacceptable, and now they're dealing with what they're having to deal with. These are the cards they were thrown out. Now they've got to fix it, and everybody wants things fixed yesterday. And he's doing a great job. He comes in and salvages a class, and, he's going to go out and work the transfer portal for some need positions. But, David, this thing's a work in progress, man.
Just came, I've told you this quote before. This came out of John Miller's mouth, Hughes' general manager. He said, David, 4 to 5 years without NIL in the portal. 4 to 5 years it would have taken us to fix this roster. And it's still not fixed.
It come pretty doggone close on this offensive line. I know, again, we'll see when they get in the season, but I think this group, they've got veterans up there, a lot of experience. You're going to mix in a couple of guys that were here at Auburn that I feel like are going to be really good contributors to this offensive line. But that's where it all starts and stops with me. Yeah. And pretty much anybody that talks about football on the offensive side, look, they were having to do some things the right way to give some holes to some of these backs to be able to run the football the way they did.
I tell you, who did look good, though, Brett? Keldrick Falk.
Well, of course he did. I mean, that guy, again, that was the biggest pickup of Hugh Freeze. Getting him to flip from Florida State and was a big deal. Let's get to some of these comments here in this first segment. Kyle said, Connor Lew will be the best offensive lineman we've had around here in a while. He put Jason Jones on his back a couple of times, and he's a true freshman. Again,
he's a dude.
Hugh Freeze really, really spoke highly of him throughout the entire spring. Mm-hmm. He said it himself. He said, Connor Lew is going to be a special offensive lineman around here. Maybe sooner than later.
Yeah.
Auburn's going to have to rely on some of these freshmen coming in. Michael said when you see highlights of T.J. Finley running the ball effective, it's not a good sign for your defense. Yeah, good point. Because we've called him the statue. We've called him all kind of different things. He's not very fleet of foot back there from the quarterback position. We'll talk more about the quarterbacks here in the next segment, but he makes a great point there. That's a little bit scary on that side.
Because when we get to that part, I want to put the T.J. Finley saga to rest, and I'm going to do it.
You're going to today, right here on this show. the final word
Yep.
on TJ Finley is going to
Yep.
come right here on the Auburn Blitz.
Absolutely.
Let's run down some of these rushing numbers. Sean Jackson had 77 yards on 13 carries. By the way, as a whole, Auburn averaged about 6 yards a carry as a unit back there. So that's pretty impressive. Justin Jones, the kid you were just bragging about, 50 yards on 11 carries. Jaquez Hunter, again, didn't see much of him. Had 4 carries, had 27 yards. Already know what he's going to be able to
Yeah.
do. Don't want to mess around and have him tweak something out
First
there.
possession and out.
Yeah, just get him out.
Yep.
Damari Austin, I think, is going to be a guy that we saw a little bit of him last year, but you're going to see a lot more out of him in the backfield, and I'm excited about it. I had a couple of guys come up and tell me, he's an exciting back to watch. Again, remember, he's from the Atlanta area. That was a big-time pickup when we recruited him. And Brian Batty out of South Florida, the transfer,
I like him, too.
had 32 yards on 7 carries. I mean, he's going to be in that rotation as well. And then you're going to add Cobb in the mix, who was one of the top running backs in the country that played right here at Montgomery Catholic. He'll be joining the team here in a couple of months. I mean, that gives us 6 or 7 running backs.
Well, Brett, I told you this off there. I'm going to tell everybody else. I was standing on the sidelines at practice last week, and I looked, and during the running back drills, I said, who is that kid right there? That's a good-looking back, and it was the Jones kid.
Justin Jones.
From Bestman. He's a good one. We will not lack for production from the running back position.
Right. And again, you add that offensive line in there. If you get a quarterback to start really being good as far as the play action's concerned and stuff, and you get receivers start catching the ball, and that could be a huge strong suit of this team.
Better we've seen.
Absolutely. I ain't saying that. Up against the first break of the show. Stay tuned. More of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
The interstate is backed up this morning due to an accident.
So you don't like sitting still on the interstate? Get the free Algo traffic app. With Algo, you'll have the information you need to avoid problems on your route, to work, to home, to the beach. Traffic backups, wrecks, lane closures, all with current info and live traffic camera feeds. Know before you go with Algo Traffic, ALGO Traffic from the Alabama Department of Transportation. Get it today and arrive on time.
Lake Martin Garage, located on Highway 280 in Jackson's Gap, has been serving our area since 1993. From routine maintenance such as oil changes, tune-ups, and rotating and balancing your tires, to transmission and engine repair, our trained and certified mechanics will get you back on the road better than before. Need a tow? With a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week towing service, Lake Martin Garage has local and long-range pickup. Trust your vehicle needs to the professionals at Lake Martin Garage. Call 256-825-6139, or better yet, stop in and see them today. Lake Martin Garage.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill in Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
The Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro in Alexander City is the perfect lender for all your mortgage needs. Property values have increased and interest rates have never been so low. So if you haven't looked at refinancing your house in the last 6 to 12 months, Mortgage Pro is here to help you take advantage of that. Our team is closing loans in 15 days or less, so give us a call at 256-397-0248 and let our team go to work for you today.
Don't be caught in a dirty vehicle. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing will have your vehicle or boat looking like brand new in no time, and you'll be back driving in style. They specialize in detailing, paint correction, gel coat restoration, and ceramic coating. Take it to the professionals at Lake Martin Mobile Detailing. Call them today at 256-794-2328 or stop by and see them at 702 McCarty Road in Dadeville. Mention this ad and receive $10 off. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing for your cleanest vehicles around.
Lee Apparel is your go-to vendor for screen printed and embroidered apparel and promotional products. We print and embroider free custom-made graphics or outsourced designs on everything from t-shirts, headwear, corporate wear, team sportswear, high-end safety apparel, and promotional products. At Lee Apparel, you can always expect quick turnaround time, competitive pricing, friendly customer service, and free in-hands delivery on all orders. Visit us at leeapparel.com to get started.
SCAG, the toughest name in lawnmowers. Unmatched quality and performance for over 3 decades. The clear choice, the best mower money can buy for work or at home. Top lawn care professionals and discerning homeowners know that SCAG means productivity and reliability. Every SCAG mower is proudly built right here in the USA. Don't settle for anything less than simply the best. SCAG.
Satterfield Outdoor Living on Highway 280 in Alex City.
J.A. Smith Construction, with 19 years experience, is your trusted choice for construction. Site clearing and grading for new home construction, basement excavation, concrete paving, storm drain installation, fish ponds, and slough dredging. No job is too big or too small. Call Alexander at J.A. Smith Construction at 334-531-0199 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. J.A. Smith Construction, your trusted choice for construction.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. 45 minutes left in today's show. Get your comments in there on Facebook. We'll get to those as they come in. You can call us 256-234-6221. Just kind of wrapping up A-Day from this past weekend. Again, it was a 60-minute running clock, and I thought it was interesting. Coach Freeze got on the headset, asked both the coordinators they want to roll the dice and winner take all from the 3-yard line, offense versus defense. They said, no, let's just let Alex McPherson kick his field goal and walk out. Everybody won 24-24. Everybody ate steak, no hot dogs.
Is that what it was?
Everybody ate steak and everybody won. And
that was the deal, right?
That was the deal right there. They made some kind of they went ahead and made. Well, he said it was like a dadgum. When he asked over the headset, it took. He said, are y'all going to say something or what are you doing up there? They were like, no, we're just going to go ahead and play this out the way it is.
Well, Brett, here's the funny thing. Everybody was talking about, the defense was celebrating for the offense because they scored, and you're thinking about what great team camaraderie. No, I ain't going to have to eat no hot dog.
I ain't eating no dang weenie out there, man, no beanie weenie crap. I'm about to eat me a daggum steak. So, but, again, I think you bragged on McPherson. You saw him in person. We knew what we got. He was the number 1 kicking prospect in the country when he signed. His brother kicks for Cincinnati. Phenomenal player. Again, in the long line of field goal kickers at Auburn.
Yeah.
Again, why wouldn't you want to come to Auburn if you're a field goal kicker?
Well, he missed his first one, Brett, but it was a 50-yarder in a monsoon.
But the kid's got a incredibly strong leg.
Oh, man.
And, I think his future's definitely bright.
In practice, he was breaking windows.
Oscar Chapman's back.
Indoor
Oscar Chapman's back to punt, so he'll be doing the punting duties. I think
Freeze even mentioned him as well. Said in pregame, he said our punter was just killing punts. I'm
going to tell you something. If you look at Tennessee this past year and Georgia, their punting games, they're and you know how it's been with Auburn in the past when we've had really, really good punters. You swing field position, man.
It's a weapon.
It is it gets overlooked way more than it should.
Yeah.
But having a great punter and a field goal kicker, Alabama finally understands with their field goal kicker what a weapon it is. They finally have a great kicker the last couple of years in Will Reichert.
Yeah.
They've struggled mightily under Nick Saban with field goal kickers and being consistent. So, again, I know we joke about it. Auburn kicks a bunch of field goals, but you get inside that 40-yard line, it's a weapon to be able to put at least 3 points on the board if you can't get in the end zone.
Or a punter that can add another 15, 20 to the field.
Right. John Paul says, do you think Hugh Freeze is going to turn this Auburn football program around? I think it's in progress now. I think you look at the recruiting, you look at the prospects that were down there this weekend. Jason Caldwell was on Friday, and he talked about those guys. A boatload of 5-star guys. The amount of guys that have been at spring practice the last 3 or 4 weeks that he's brought in that have watched practice. You heard what Jason said about a couple of guys just driving to Auburn on their own, just to come up to practice and be part of it. David says a lot about what this coaching staff's doing and the emphasis that Hugh Freeze is putting on getting the type of players back to Auburn that we got to have to compete for the SEC.
And they said prospects were all over the place Saturday.
Well, I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're getting a vibe around this coaching staff, and, you know, again, not enough credit probably is given to Carnell Williams and some of those guys that are still here that kept the thing together from completely falling apart with the potato guys when they invaded Auburn. And Carnell Williams deserves a lot of credit. I know we've given him a lot of credit. I know Auburn's given him a lot of credit. Hugh Freeze obviously respects and appreciates Carnell Williams, but he really did. He and, you know, Trevon and, you know, Zach Etheridge and those guys held this thing together last year.
And here's why, Brett. It's all about relationships.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, when I can text Brent Bedsoe and say, hey, Brent, I want to stop by practice tomorrow, come on.
Right.
You couldn't have done that under Malzahn or Harsin.
Yeah, it was two weird personality guys, two very standoffish kind of guys. And again, Gus Malzahn did a lot of good things for Auburn. I'm not sitting up here just bashing him, but again, he was an odd personality guy.
His second half of his tenure,
it wasn't good. It wasn't good. I mean, he had the handwriting. He saw the handwriting on the wall.
Relationships with high school coaches. And, you know, that rumor that we heard about, well, it wasn't a rumor, it was reported, that Mark Freeman never met Brian Harsin. And that came out of his mouth.
Well, David, there were two articles written on AL.com about 2 times about Brian Harsin and not having any relationships with high school coaches, and high school coaches being quoted like, I don't know the guy.
Mark Freeman told me that to my face. He said, I never met the dude. But now, the relationships with high school coaches, not just in Alabama.
That's not going to be the case
I've seen some out-of-state high school coaches at practice as well. I mean, it's anybody that within driving distance that can get to practice. You are welcome at Auburn's football practice. They're building relationships.
Well, they're about to
hit this. Going to be the difference.
When the portal opens in May, they're going to hit the portal hard. We're going to talk some more about that. We hadn't gotten to the depth chart yet. Kyle said Denver Jones was the best thing about Saturday, and the fact that Flanagan probably is gone. We're going to get into that here in just a little bit. Ty said, with Wes Flanagan leaving, do you think Allen will leave too? Again, we're going to talk a little bit more about that here in just a little bit. What's the latest on the Marshall kid? I heard Auburn is the favorite to land him. The pitching let Auburn down again. Yeah, a ton there, Ty, for us to dive into.
Ty said a mouthful.
He did. We're gonna dive into all this. We know a lot of you want to hear about all this stuff. We're definitely going to talk about Denver Jones, the other kids that are the targets for Auburn basketball-wise, because they're not done. But that was a huge piece right there. Huge piece in getting Denver Jones. He was probably the top priority for Bruce Pearl, and Auburn was able to land him. He signed yesterday with that. I know we only have about a little over a minute, or maybe less than a minute here on this second segment, but we're going to get to the depth chart, projected depth chart for Auburn going into the summer, based off of what we've seen and kind of what Coach Freeze and the coaching staff said. Now, again, this is going into the summer. It doesn't mean this is who's going to run out their first ball game for Auburn in the fall.
And I'm also going to dive into the gospel according to TJ Finley.
There you go. And in the much-awaited, anticipated news from David on TJ Finley when we come back. Stay tuned. More of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
When you need an automotive hero, you got to call S&S Discount Tire Pros. With locations in Alexander City and Dayville, we are here to serve you today. From quick services like oil changes and tire rotations to in-depth automotive repairs such as suspensions, brakes, and tune-ups, S&S can take care of all your tire needs. You just have to focus on what's important and love the drive. Call S&S Discount Tire Pros today. We are automotive heroes, and we are here to serve you.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau Tritoons, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com.
Country Clipper zero-turn mowers are designed for comfort, accessibility, and ease of use. Only Country Clipper offers your choice of steering options with industry-exclusive joystick steering or twin-lever steering. Their patented stand-up deck, standard on every model, allows for quick access to the underside of the deck for routine maintenance. With a wide front step and optional handrail, getting on or off your mower has never been easier. Stop by Fun Carts of Opelika today for a test drive. Country Clipper mowers, designed for you. Fun Carts of Opelika, located at 618 Lee Road, 113 in Opelika, Alabama.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our best rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
No monthly payments for 90 days at Glenn Smith Buick GMC in Opelika. New GMC Sierra Crew Cabs discounted up to $10,000 off. New GMC Terrains up to $5,250 off. And new Buick Encore GX up to $4,750 off. Shop online anytime at glennsmith.com. That's GLYNN Smith.com.
We have over 200 new and used vehicles on the ground or on the way. Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Halfway through the program, get your calls in. If you'd like to give us a call, 256-234-6221. You can comment away. We've got a lot of comments coming through trying to get to all of this stuff that we want to cover today. But, you know, now, Ty, the Marshall kid, I'm not sure exactly which one you're alluding to. Now, I know the Marshall kid that we've got coming in the 24 class with Pettiford and LeBaron Philon. Now, are you talking about basketball? Are you talking about football? Just kind of clear that up for us there, because we got a lot of that going on. Then you add Denver Jones to this class with Aiden Holloway coming in. And, again, Auburn still with several guys out there. Now, Auburn was looking at 4 or 5 guards. Now that they land Denver Jones, not sure how many of those guys. I know the kid from Georgia was a top priority, but not sure who ends up coming from that standpoint. I think Auburn definitely needs another big guy inside.
That's what I was going to say.
I think you're looking at somebody to help there. But you're talking about next year from a basketball standpoint of Aiden Holloway and Denver Jones coming in with 2 years left of eligibility, by the way. You've already strengthened this backcourt tremendously.
Yeah.
And then, again, if KD Johnson stays, you know, he'll definitely be a contributing guy off the bench, but I think you got Holloway and Jones that'll be your two starting guards out there for this team. You got Janai Broome. Hopefully Jalen Williams stays. I know Ty asked, do we think Alan Flanagan will stay now that Wes Flanagan's gone? I would say probably not. Now, again, in this weird age of basketball and college sports, if Flanagan feels comfortable in his system and likes what's going on, he may decide to stick around. But I wouldn't bet on that. I would think that he would be heading out. The 7-foot kid, 7'1" kid from Marshall. I haven't heard any more on that, Ty. We'll try to dive into that a little bit
Brett,
as well.
That's what. How cool would it be?
But Peyton Marshall's a 7-footer too now, by the way.
How cool would that be if Bruce brought in a true 5, and we could play around with Broome at the 4, have two guys that size on the floor at the same time?
It'd be nice.
With 3 knock down.
I think the biggest
guards.
key in returners for Auburn is Jalen Williams. I think, if Auburn can, Janai Broome's going to come back, but you get Jalen Williams, you got, and I left out Trey Donaldson, man.
Yeah.
Good Lord. I mean,
Trey's coming back.
Well, I'm just saying, but in the backcourt.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I left him out of the Aiden Holloway and the Denver Jones, man. You talking about 3 really good guards, man. I was excited to see the advancement of Trey Donaldson at the end of the season, especially in the tournament. Thought we didn't go to him enough there in the tournament.
8 minutes in that last game.
It was
After
ridiculous.
That,
Kyle just said he committed to Florida about 30 minutes ago. So there's you some updates right on the fly there, Ty. My good buddy Kyle jumps in there and says he commits to Florida. So Florida picks up that big guy.
So going to step in for Castleton now, I guess.
Yeah, right. Well, and Castleton had a good career.
He did.
So there's some updates there coming in. I want to dive back into this depth chart for Auburn for just a second. I want to start on the offensive side. Right now, projected depth chart, offensive line, Avery Jones starting at center with Connor Lew backing him up possibly. At left guard, you got Jeremiah Wright with Jaleel Irvin being the second team guy. And then Dylan Wade, the left tackle, Garner Langlow backing him up. And on the right side, Tate Johnson, who I thought was really going to be a big piece last year and got hurt early in the season. You could already see how good he was going to be. Cam Stutz possibly backing him up. And, again, this is all speculation, by the way. And then right tackle Gunnar Britton is Xavion Miller backing him up. So if you look at it and you remember, Jeremiah Wright was probably our best lineman last year. And, this kid's bounced back and forth. He's been on the defensive side, the offensive side, back to defense, back to offense. But if you look at Avery Jones, Dylan Wade, and Gunnar Britton, you're looking at 3 brand-new guys on the offensive line. Tate Johnson will basically be brand new because he didn't play at all really last year. And then you got the one lone guy returning that had significant time up front who was our best lineman, Jeremiah Wright. Not a bad starting 5 there. And then you got Stutz, Jaleel Irvin, everybody's high on Connor Lew. He may work his way into a starting position before it's over. And Xavion Miller, I mean, Auburn's actually got a little depth at offensive line now.
Yeah. Surprise, surprise.
So Ty said, what about KD Johnson? Just mentioned that. He hasn't made a decision yet. Again, it's starting to get crowded in the backcourt now with Trey Donaldson, Aiden Holloway, and, Denver Jones coming in. That's going to put 4 guards back there. We'll see. I don't know where he's going to go.
Brett, Denver Jones coming in may push one out that we're waiting on. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, look, you go out and get one of the top scorers in the country in Denver Jones averaged 21 points, basically almost 21 points a game.
You seen his three-point shooting percentage?
He was also top 5. You're going to like this. This was a note for you. I thought of you immediately when I read it. He was one of the top 5 in the country in mid-range jump shots.
Oh, come on.
Top 5 in the country in mid-range jump shots.
Welcome to the Plains. God,
somebody can shoot a 10 to 15 footer. Imagine that. We thought that was a lost art. We actually thought that was illegal now at Auburn. Right? You couldn't shoot. You can't shoot those. But all right, so we're bouncing from basketball back to football. We're kind of all over the map here. Quarterback right now, obviously Robbie Ashford's the leader there. I definitely think Finley won't make it through to the fall. I think he'll decide to exit. You're going to give some much-needed info. It's going to have to carry over even to the next segment. We're almost out of time here, David.
We don't. Hours not enough
They
today.
said not enough, man. Not enough. Jarquez Hunter going to be your starting running back with Austin Batty back there, second, third. Jeremiah Cobb's going to have something to say about that when he gets there for sure. Rivaldo Fairweather coming in will be a boost at tight end, but you got Luke Dill and Tyler Fromm in that position as well. Wide receivers, Cam Brown projected to start at 1, Javaris Johnson at another, and Coy Moore. But then you got Mardner, who had a good spring, Tavares Dawson and Malcolm Johnson all there as backups too that could get in depending on the formations and stuff like that. So that's the offensive side. When we come back, we'll take your comments. We will get to the TJ Finley talk, and we'll talk some defense as well, plus baseball, softball, all that if we can get to it here in the last 2 segments. Stay tuned. More Auburn Blitz right after this.
J.A. Smith Construction, with 19 years experience, is your trusted choice for construction. Site clearing and grading for new home construction, basement excavation, concrete paving, storm drain installation, fish ponds, and slough dredging. No job is too big or too small. Call Alexander at J.A. Smith Construction at 334-531-0199 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. J.A. Smith Construction, your trusted choice for construction.
Grain and Leaf, located at 6068 Highway 63 South, is Lake Martin's premier boutique-style bottle shop with a unique array of sophistication for everyone. Appropriately named for its exclusive selection of top spirits, wine, and craft beer, Grain and Leaf also has a number of fine cigars for you to choose from. They also carry the full line of Hornsby Farms assorted jellies and pottery. Open 10 to 7 Monday through Saturday and noon to 5 on Sundays, Grain and Leaf is your premier shop in the Lake Martin area.
LMG Ad Agency is the go-to vendor for all your digital and print marketing needs. We have in-house production for all projects, including graphic design, web design, social media marketing, videography, and print marketing. Our video production is up to industry standard with modern 4K cameras and drone capabilities. We pride ourselves in client-committed relationships, and every project is personalized to your needs. Visit lmgadagency.com for a free quote today. Let us tell your story.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare, serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama. Folks around these parts have known for a long time that Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is your #1 stop for automotive service and repair. At Walls Tire, you'll always find quality service at a fair price on everything from AC, name brand tires, big or small repairs, routine maintenance, towing, and more. When your car or truck needs to run right, there's one place in the area to go, conveniently located and easy to find. Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
The Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro in Alexander City is the perfect lender for all your mortgage needs. Property values have increased and interest rates have never been so low. So if you haven't looked at refinancing your house in the last 6 to 12 months, Mortgage Pro is here to help you take advantage of that. Our team is closing loans in 15 days or less, so give us a call at 256-397-0248 and let our team go to work for you today.
For more than 40 years, Ingram Equipment Company has helped companies, towns, and cities with their dirtiest, most challenging jobs by providing the very best equipment and by helping them keep in tip-top working condition. IEC represents leading manufacturers such as Heil garbage truck bodies, Timco sweepers, Step pothole patchers, and many more. We proudly support all athletes and teams that compete across the state and wish them good luck this year. Ingram Equipment Company, ingramequipment.net.
WF Cabinetry in Alex City has immediate openings for first and second shift production roles in addition to immediate openings for Class A CDL drivers with the ability to be at home weekly. We're ready for you to join our family and grow with us. Prior cabinet experience is always welcome. Second shift offers a flexible 10-hour, 4-day work schedule, giving you a great work-life balance right here at home. WF Cabinetry offers excellent health insurance and 401k benefits as well as an employee purchase discount with daily production bonus opportunities. You can apply in person at 2212 Airport Boulevard in Alexander City or call 256-234-7900.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. A couple segments left in today's show. A program brought to you by Mortgage Pro there at McKinley Team, Big Fish Real Estate Group at Lake Martin, Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply Stores, and J.A. Smith Construction, both residential and commercial. We're going to continue to get to your comments. I do want to remind everybody about Holden Gardner. We're talking about quarterbacks. He was a 4-star out of Georgia, number 18 quarterback in the country in that class. I remember everybody kind of just looking over a running back we had one year in a class that happened to be a 4-star that didn't quite achieve, garner the attention that some other guys were getting by the name of Trey Mason. I think he turned out to be pretty good. Ended up being one of the best running backs Auburn's ever had, broke the SEC championship game rushing record, just all kind of feats. Should have won a national championship at Florida State. If he didn't run over the daggum guy and go ahead and score, we probably would have won the game.
Yeah.
But great analogy there in the fact that I remember people saying, well, we got this other kid named Trey Mason, but we'll end up being – I'm not saying that's what's going to happen with Holden Gardner, but I am saying that kid's got a lot of talent. He's 6'3", 215, 220 pounds. I think, like you said, David, off the air, if this would have been a sunny 70-degree day, we'd be sitting here today talking about Holden Gardner throwing the ball all over the field and spinning it really well.
Absolutely.
So, didn't get a chance to see that, so we'll just have to keep waiting. All right, so Michael has been impatiently waiting, along with everybody else, on your TJ Finley information, and this is coming from your analysis of what he said after the game Saturday.
People tell you stuff without even thinking they're telling you stuff.
That's exactly right.
Look, if I'm wrong about this, y'all can put me in the Dunkin' booth. Just make sure the water is lukewarm. All right? He came out and said all this stuff about how he'd matured spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally, and how he was going to compete. And everybody's going, wow, that sounds like a new TJ Finley. And then the guy asked him, so if you end up in the backup role, would you stay at Auburn? I don't think so. Ladies and gentlemen,
basically,
if he's not the starter, he's gone.
So guess what?
Guaranteed.
He's gone.
He's gone.
He's not going to be the starter.
I'm telling you right now, he won't be at Auburn this summer.
I don't think so. I think that was it for him, and probably best. If he chooses to stay, it's because he has nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
But don't build yourself up with all that stuff,
look,
and then when somebody asks you point blank and you say, I don't think so.
But he pretty much sat there and told everybody, if I'm not the starter, I'm out of here.
That's what he said, without actually saying it.
Without actually saying it. So, but to sit there and rattle off, I'm here, I'm committed, I'm getting better, I'm doing all this. And,
come on, man.
But it is what it is at this point with TJ Finley. He's had multiple opportunities. He's got a new, just like all the rest of the guys, Robbie and Holden, everybody started over with a new coaching staff, basically, on the offensive side. And, he still hasn't been mentioned as really much of anything that really impressed you for you.
So, Brett, all that rain did Saturday was delay the inevitable.
Prolong.
Because if it had been 75 and sunny, Holden Gardner would have been throwing darts.
I mean, that's what they've
spring.
talked about in spring all, for the last 4 weeks is how great his accuracy is and what he's done at the quarterback position. I think Robbie Ashford gives you a better overall role at quarterback. And, again, he's been nursing some shoulder stuff. But at the end of the day, he is going to – and I say Hugh Freeze is going to the portal. Mm-hmm. He is going to be looking for another quarterback, if not two. I wouldn't be surprised. So just sit here and wait to see what happens. And, we're trying to go through this depth chart here. Again, this is tentative of what it might look like in the fall. This is what it is going into the summer with the players that we have on campus right now. Again, we just went through the running backs. That's going to be different when Jeremiah Cobb comes in. Mm-hmm. He's going to have something to say about that. All right.
And, Brett, real quick.
Yep.
To back up what you just said out of Hugh Freeze's mouth, they asked him in the post-game press conference Saturday, what is it that you need in a quarterback? And his answer verbatim was, I need a guy back there that can make all the difficult throws in tight coverage. Who's he talking about? Gardner. Or somebody like that.
Somebody like him. I mean, that's
exactly.
And he made that comment at the beginning of spring too. Mm-hmm. I mean, he said, he said, I require a lot more out of quarterbacks than probably these guys have been required to do.
Oh, it's brutal, man.
And you got to be able to be. I had a whole show on passing efficiency and how poor Auburn's passing efficiency.
I remember you bringing those numbers out.
Right, and he said, look, I mean, you got to get those numbers up if you want to compete. And those were numbers that Stat Tiger threw out there that showed if you win 5 to 6 games versus 7 to 9 games, and where Auburn was in that mix, and then what you got to do in championship type years.
To your credit, that's some of the most pertinent and useful information that we've thrown out on this show in a while. I mean, kudos to you for looking that up. I mean, that just shows you where we are right now.
Yeah, we're 36% away passing efficiency just to be in the range of winning 7 to 9 ball games.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to get much, much better. Mm-hmm. All right, on the defensive side for Auburn, looking at the defensive line, Marcus Harris at defensive end, nose tackle Jason Jones, and defensive tackle Justin Rogers. Again, not going through all the backup stuff. These are some of your starters there. At jack position, Elijah McAllister coming in from Vanderbilt. At the will position, Cam Riley, who a lot of people have bragged on him improving this spring. In the Mike position, Austin Keys, that was that transfer from LSU. So we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll finish down the defensive side of the depth chart and then kind of run through some information on baseball and softball to wrap it up. Stay tuned. One more segment here on the Auburn Blitz right after this.
Tails are wagging and pets are bragging about Zoom to Groom. Columbus, Phoenix City, and Smith Station. Zoom to Groom comes to you. It's mobile pet grooming from the comfort of your driveway. Schedule your appointment now online at zoomtogroom.net or by phone at 334-740-9909.
76% of nurses say they went into the profession because they wanted to help patients. No matter the reason you decided to become a nurse, you have all the tools needed to advance your degree at Jacksonville State University. Our Master's in Nursing program is now offered fully online and can be completed in less than 2 years. You can customize a flexible course schedule so you can receive your advanced education degree all while working on the front line. JSU Nursing, your opportunity to advance your career and serve your community.
At C&T Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
Elijah Idol 15, the finale, is happening next Saturday night, April 22nd, in the River Region at Alabama's Little Bit of Texas in Wetumpka. Who will be crowned as the next Elijah Idol? Find out next Saturday.
Something big is coming. Something so big, it'll change the world of chicken sandwiches. Zaxby's new signature sandwich with Zax sauce or new spicy Zax sauce, because the chicken sandwich war ain't over yet. The new signature sandwich. All the other little sandwiches can run along. We'll take it from here.
OGS Tournaments. Russell Marine and State Farm agent Aaron Warren present Crank for Bank 2023, April 1st through July 4th. Win over $1.5 million in cash and prizes. Over 200 tag bass and 50 tag crappie are waiting on you. All ages are welcome. Fish from the dock, boat, or shores of Lake Martin. Get registered now online at crankforbank.com for only $110 for 13 weeks of fishing. It's Crank for Bank 2023.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our best rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Bugs Island is your boating headquarters. Are you ready to hit the water and go boating this summer? Bugs Island has all kinds of boats, with one sure to fit exactly what you want. Fishing boats, sport boats, pontoon boats, and all with low monthly payments. Call 1-800-I'm-READY. Bugs Island Service Department experts are also here for you to keep your boat in top running condition. Call 1-800-I'm-READY. Don't be left standing on the bank this summer. Visit online at bugsisland.com and don't buy a boat till you get a Bucks quote.
Tails are wagging and pets are bragging about Zoom to Groom. Columbus, Phoenix City, and Smith Station. Zoom to Groom comes to you. It's mobile pet grooming from the comfort of your driveway. Schedule your appointment now online at zoomtogroom.net or by phone at 334-740-9909.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you're about to hear is true, and the names have been changed because Brubaker Motors has sold to Sons Automotive. You heard right. Brubaker Kia is now Sons Kia of Montgomery. Furthermore, Sons Automotive is a family business with dealerships throughout the Southeast. The name Sons Automotive is synonymous with trust, and they care about the communities they're a part of. They're excited to serve the River region, and in the interest of justice, you will be served a sentence of big savings. Sons Kia of Montgomery, family owned, family driven.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz final segment here on the show. And we got good buddy Luke Robinson on here. Luke, up in Indianapolis, first of all, glad you are safe from another shooting. You had to go through Louisville, and you just told me that you were actually going through that area about the time that happened this morning. So just glad that you're safe.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. We actually got alerts on our phone. I mean, it's kind of a cool feature. I didn't even know that existed. But as soon as the report went out, we didn't have it on the news. We were listening to Sports Talk, and both of our phones went off at the same time and said, "Hey, active shooter situation" or something like that in the vicinity. And I said, "Just get on out of here." I mean, we weren't necessarily close to it, but we were in Louisville.
Yeah,
which is scary enough.
Right. Well,
that's the reason I called is because we were listening to Sports Talk, and I saw that somebody commented, "How do you pronounce Holden Garner's name?"
Yep.
And that's been something we've all, struggled with because he hadn't played enough for any of us to really learn it. It's sort of like learning DJ Uiagalelei. Well, this weekend for the spring game, Chris Doring and his play-by-play guy were debating about what to call him in case he got in. And
right.
Actually, his mother, Janet Garner, comes up to the play-by-play guy and says, "Just want to let you know it's Garner, like Turner. So when you're saying his name,
it's Turner.
Garner, and I'm his mother, Janet Garner." So when the play-by-play guy goes the next day and Holden Garner comes in, he said, "I just want to thank Holden Garner's mom, Karen, for letting me know what how to pronounce their last name. And Chris Doring said, that's great, but her name's Janet. You got the last name right, but you screwed up the first name.
He called her a Karen.
He called her on top of that, he called her Karen, yeah.
God almighty. Well, yeah, it's good to know. And like you said, hasn't had enough playing time. We've kind of called him both. We've called him Gerner. We've called him Garner. And so it's good to know. Yeah. You want to add a little French in there? We can just we can do that as well. We can give you all kind of pronunciation.
I've been saying it wrong. I'll admit it.
So, well, look, here's the deal.
I hope we do learn to pronounce it.
If he comes in and has significant playing time, I think everybody will learn how to say it. But
well, listen, the answer to that is we'll learn how to say it when they learn how to spell it.
True. There's no doubt. Hey, that's the way, that's the thing that gets me all the time about people's names. And you look at it and you go, well, it's definitely said like this. And then somebody comes back with this odd pronunciation. That does not look like that at all.
So just take the I out.
Right. So, Luke, you and I know about this in basketball, calling all the different championship games. We have to just go up to the – look, and this is the obvious and best thing to do is if you have some kids on a roster that you're looking at as far as names, you go – I'm just going to go ask the coach.
Yeah.
And we did that.
Yeah. Except when we're playing one of those really small schools, and they've got 7 girls all named Stacy, just spelled different.
Hey, and Luke, if you'll remember this real quick, we were even told on the correct pronunciation of a school here in this state that we had a game, Pisgah, and how to pronounce that instead of Pisgah. Or vice versa.
It is Pisgah 100%. And, in fact, I've just started spelling it with a Z because I'd rather get in trouble for the spelling than the pronunciation.
So that just lets you know.
Because you don't want Karen coming up to you after the game and chewing your
I don't want Karen Gurnier coming up to me.
Well, Luke, we appreciate it, buddy. Be safe where, in your travels. And thank goodness you got through Louisville okay.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
I appreciate it. If you want to learn how to pronounce things, just tune into the Auburn Blitz.
And it depends on where you live, because the people that live up there, it's Russellville.
Yeah, right.
Russellville.
It's Alex City, really pronounce it, when you look at it, but people say Alex City.
People say Alex City.
Alex City.
I know it.
It's crazy. So, all right. So Wes says, I'm sure Freeze knows about Finley. You can tell when someone is a team player. There's no doubt.
I'm sure he knows.
There's no doubt. He's already seen enough out of that. And I think, like you said, David, the handwriting's on the wall with him. That's going to take care of itself.
It is.
And Auburn's going to go out, and they're going to hit the portal hard, and I think he definitely wants another addition to that room. I do want to end again talking about Denver Jones, signed with Auburn from Florida International. 6'4", guard, going to add some length to the backcourt, 20.1 points a game, shot the ball at a 35.7% rate from behind the three-point arc. It's an 86% free throw shooter, too. This kid can do it all.
And here's the
mid-range jump shot guy. He's your guy, man.
That's that checks another box. Well, Brett, how much have we talked about? And, of course, Charles calls in and talks about our 5'2" guards. And that's a little bit of a stretch.
James does, too, now.
Yeah. Maybe it's James.
I think both of them talk about how short they are.
But look, he's 6'4". Okay, that box is checked. He shoots at a high percentage clip. That box is checked.
Right.
He shoots a high free throw percentage, 40% from 3. And he can shoot a mid-range jumper.
Yeah, man.
Oh, double box check for me. So this is a huge pickup for Bruce.
It's massive. I think that was the priority coming out, and he's able to get that. Again, Wes Flanagan leaving for Ole Miss. Was on Chris Beard's staff at Arkansas Little Rock back in 15-16, then Beard left. Flanagan became the head coach, and then he came over after that and then took over took an assistant coach position under Bruce Pearl and has been there ever since, and then will now leave. Probably Wes Flanagan will go with him. I know we had a question earlier in the program. Did we think? And I would say yes. Now, that doesn't mean 100%, but I would say I would lean that way.
I would think so, too, yeah.
I've also heard the potential of Chance Westry and Johan Traore all going to Ole Miss, too. So that would be 3 Auburn guys going to Ole Miss.
Interesting.
In the transfer portal, so we'll have to see it. Real quick, and I know Kyle said we can just skip the baseball segment, and we probably
And we did.
will now with the music playing. We'll talk some Auburn baseball and softball tomorrow when we are back with you at the same time in the same place. Again, that's going to wrap it up for the Monday edition of the Auburn Blitz. For David, I'm Brett, saying we've enjoyed it. Well, if you have, see you next time.